Good morning. Going to be doing three tickers today from the members. We got AQST, Aquestive Therapeutics, CLVS, Clovis Oncology, and CANO Health, CANO. Be doing those. First, we're going to take a look at the SPY, of course, and then we'll take a look at the Qs and, of course, the diamonds as well. And then we'll even take a quick look before at the healthcare ETFs before we move on to the ticker, the three member requests. So, take a look at the SPY. I was just looking at this, and then I'm realizing it's a mess right now. It's okay. I know there's lots of lines, lots of indicators and colors, and I apologize for that. It's not very clean looking, but this also shows you what's going on, and it's a mess for a reason. We got a lot of players involved here, lots of indicators, lots of things that are influencing the share price, and people can talk about headlines and interest rates and all that, and those might be the large wins in the market, but the day-to-day and how far it's moving and all that stuff is still based upon algorithms and things running into moving averages and standard deviations and all that. So we have to consider these if we're going to determine what's going to happen next, especially in the near term. So let's take a look at the SPY. We have the daily chart up. I just added a few extra lines here. I'll get rid of them once they're broken, but it is let's do what we noticed earlier this week, is that this purple line coming off the mid-August high. I noticed I put this sucker up because what was that? It was like a week ago, right? Yeah, the 11th. I think I put it up on the 12th. Oh no, maybe I put it up on the 14th. Oh, I did. I put it up early in the 14th in the morning because I noticed that we opened up, and in the pre-market, we had a line there, and it was trading below, and then it got above, and I was like, oh, that's interesting, and it hit the 200-day EMA and got rejected. But we had a good pre-market on Monday. But the big thing to notice is that this purple line, we never closed above it. So even though we did get points of the day where we were getting higher than the purple downtrend ray, we always closed below. So we know that this purple line is definitely legitimate resistance, and it was strong enough, even though it's pretty flat, it was still strong enough to push the share price below the green line, which this was reacquired after that big up day. But broke down through, and then what was this? So that was what, Thursday? Yes, so Thursday was an interesting day. Rallied towards the end of the day, but failed to get above, got rejected, and then Friday, kind of an inside day, but found the uptrend ray coming up off that big up day, but then failed to get above the daily anchored VWAP, I believe, from the mid-March. Yeah, from the mid-March. I gotta change the colors on that. There's two. Let me do that right now so we can see what we're doing here. Hello. It's a little laggy. Let's go with like a dark blue. That should be easier to see. Okay. So that's the mid-March, and this light blue one is from the mid-August. So what I noticed, we had this purple. I'll change this one as well because of course I have several purples. Let's go yellowish. So coming off this high, we busted out of that on Friday, but it seems like the purple and this blue uptrend ray coming up off the big up day on the 10th. We got contact here, contact there. That seems to be low conviction, but We got nailed twice off it. There's another one right there. I didn't think too much of it, but to take a look at it first, but then that's there. So I would say I have a neutral. This is big. These two big candles. You get the one with a huge hammer after it dropping below pre-market and got above my critical level here. And we've been grinding up in general since then, and then we have a couple big up days since then. So we got 1, 2. The go no go has got us at bullish. So it's probably the fact that this purple downtrend ray is high conviction, and there's lots. You got the 200-day EMA and lots of anchored VWAPs in this area. That's just requiring us to chew through that right now until we move up to the next one. But I think next week's could be interesting with a short week. Because we have Thursday off, and then I think we have a half day on Friday. So it'll be interesting to see where this goes. I'm like neutral right now because this purple has got me concerned. That this downtrend ray that we've got above and been rejected. I'm going to get rid of this one. And I'm going to get rid of this one. Yeah, I'll get rid of this one too, I think. Well, did we retest that? No, we didn't. I doubt, yeah, well, you know what? I'll get rid of it. Remove some of these. So we came down that day and we tested here, which is clearly an area of support at 390. I gotta be a little bullish, I think. With these two here, massive engulfing candle, above some of the major anchored VWAPs. If we get above the purple, I'm going to be pretty confident about us at least making it close to above. Yeah, if we can get a close above 400, and you have the big green guy coming down from the all-time high. That'll probably be the next big area of or big obstacle that we'll have to deal with. RSI is not really giving us much either. I mean, I would say strength. There's strength in the RSI. All right, let's go to the Qs. Qs are, well, we're getting blue on the Qs. When's the last time we had that? August. Holy cow. How did diamonds close up for the week? Just a little bit down, but that's okay. Okay, so this is, we're getting close here. Broke down, came up, tested it, broke down, came up, tested it twice, basically. So she's weakening up a little bit. Still, an angle of attack is still there. It's still pretty steep. All right. We need the diamonds. We need somebody to still. I mean, the industrials have done very well, obviously with all the energy, and there's a few other industries that are doing well in the Dow. But we're gonna need another punch, man. Really start to chew through it to get up this 343 area. I don't know what's gonna do it, but someone's got to take over. All right, let's do some healthcare tech. Healthcare indices here. ETFs. SPIO, XBI. Nothing. This has been a weak one for a while, and I'm not that I'm expecting this to show us when our if this is going to help lead the healthcare turnaround here again. But we really, the big thing about healthcare equipment is if healthcare, it's going to benefit if healthcare in general turns around, right? All the healthcare equipment tickers, the big guys. More healthcare, you're going to need more equipment. I know that seems just, obvious, but, besides it being innovative, they are a major cogwheel. So they're kind of the first industry in the healthcare sector that I'd like to look for if we're really going to see healthcare lead. I mean, you're going to get pharmaceuticals, and there's going to be lots of biotechs that are going to do well because of the COVID. You got testing. They're still going to do well. But if you want the overall healthcare sector to really lead through what I suspect to be another 6 months of pretty ugly markets, the healthcare equipment's going to have to be involved. It's either that or just the payers are going to, it's just still going to be your health insurance companies, managed care, all of them. They're still going to be the winners here. So I like them, and then I like your middlemen there. You got Cardinal and McKesson. Your suppliers. Anybody else to take a look at? Let's see how Kathy's doing. Kathy's still shooting us in the foot. It's not even shooting ourselves in the foot. It's Kathy. No. She's still got a ways to go. This green one, I think, is the big one that we have to worry about, yeah. It's coming off the high. No, it's not. Oh, is this some... Yeah, it's the June one. Holy cow. Just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. Kathy friggin' one. See which one I'm looking at? Oh, there it is. All right, sorry about the long pauses, but these are genuine reactions here. I haven't really looked through these yet, so. We're going to need a punch. We're going to need something to really grind the whole market up and lead to a solid breakout. Because we're getting, I mean, like, yeah, almost a triple top setup after a potential double bottom setup. It's powerful, but you're going to need some, you know, something. This is bullish to a certain extent, but you're going to need somebody to punch it through. I don't think it's just going to be led by healthcare. I think the whole market's going to have to get up and go. All right, let's take a look at the names that we have here. First one, AQST. Quest of Therapeutics. Now, I think I'm going to do a write-up on these guys because I'll put it in there in the marketplace. We'll post it there because a Quest of, they're getting really, we're moving really, really close to not turnaround, but simply because the company doesn't need to be doing turnarounds. The company's doing quite well. Their Suboxone candidate that's still Suboxone. Their Suboxone royalties are still coming in. Suboxone's still, you know, one of the leading products and tools that people use for opioid dependence, breaking down addictions. So it's doing very well with that in terms of still pulling in partnership revenue, royalty revenue. In general, that's how this company's running. They're getting, I think they got some Pazans gone. That one's being out licensed. So now they're going to turn their focus to AQST 109, which is their epinephrine product candidate. So far, so good. Not even so, it's been very impressive. And they're going to need some help if they're going to make that probably a really what it should be as a product. If it gets through the FDA, I'm sure it probably will. Everything looks great so far. So, but they're going to need some help, I think, on the commercial side. I don't know if they're going to out-license it. Maybe they should. I know their commercial team's probably going to gear towards that, just to make sure that when it's ready to go, you're going to have pediatricians, your general practitioners, and your allergists fully aware of finally a real solid transition to a new product for epinephrine. No more injectors, syringes, needles. Just small little postage stamp sized package in a wallet or a pocketbook, purse, whatever. So, are we seeing any sort of involvement here from the market? I'm going to say no. I mean, I just put in that uptrend rate off the bottom, but I don't think we're seeing the demand that. I mean, the setup is relatively strong. I mean, we got a higher low setting in, and a new uptrend ray coming off, an acceleration up off this one. So when it came in, hit this one, now we're seeing an acceleration up. So that's a good sign. We broke some downtrend rays. Good sign. We got a few more coming in. Still below $1. I mean, it says $1 right now, but we're at 97.52. Let's go to the monthly real quick. Yeah, so that's a little bit more like it. September 2020 coming down. Breaks up, comes down. Maybe. They're trading above 1. The setup's there, but we're going to have to wait to see if we can get above $2 also. It's going to be a 200% move really before we can start celebrating here. We got to get above the buy threshold. So let's recap for AQST. Long term, the story's good. They got some cash now. They can manage their expenses probably. No update, I think, on Libervent yet. I actually have to listen to their earnings call to see if there's anything from the analysts. I'm sure someone made a note on that. But they do have a game plan for Libervent. So if they can get that through the FDA, that would be another potential licensing deal. So that could be gone off the books, making cash. They have cash now. So that, yeah, so the Sympazan sale could help fund the Libervent trial that is needed. AQST 109, I think this month or next month they should be going with the FDA for the end of phase 2 meeting, which should set them up for what they need to do for their final clinical trial, pivotal trial. Then they can probably get a potential approval not next year, but probably in 2024. I don't know if they have all the cash they need for that, but if the idea is that they can keep rolling over, so the money that they can roll over from Sympazan can then fund Libervent. That should be a bigger ticket, much more upfront, potential royalties, etc. Good finances from that. They get that off the books. Both of those off the books, obviously getting more on the royalties. That should get them pretty close to at least getting get a final readout from AQST 109. If it is that good and it's basically a shoo-in for approval, they'll probably have to raise some money. Maybe they take on some sort of debt in some way. Or they go commercial. Maybe they find a commercial partner and this is it. I don't know. It's, again, having commercial teams and Salesforce it made sense for central nervous system. They probably would have had good luck there, but I don't know, unless they feel like the finances really are worth them having a sales force for the allergists, general practitioners, and pediatricians. Could justify them having that, but then it'd be them just pushing one product. It'd have to be a success. Whereas giving it to somebody else who knows what they're doing, not that they don't, but somebody who can, be a good partner, that might be a better shot. I'm still extremely bullish on AQST. So personally, I'm going to be looking soon, probably the next month or so. I'll wait for it to see what happens towards the end of the year if we're going to get a Santa Claus rally. If I might have to pull the trigger below $1 again this coming week. It's really close. It looks like we're ready to dip below it here, right? Yeah, so we're right on it. So maybe Monday morning I'd give a shot at it. and then I would wait probably for us to close above the anchored VWAP from, what's this, mid-August high. So once we close above that, which would be above here, so that would be at least a sign of some momentum, another higher low set in. And then climbing above a formation high, getting above an anchored VWAP. That's not too much volume here, so once we get probably above 150, could maybe make another move to get above the 200-day EMA, which might give us enough momentum to get above the buy threshold. And then finally take some profits here sometime early next year. But I'll take a 300% move. That's fine. All right, that's one done. Let's do CLVS. A lot of people are asking me about this one, both in terms of members and then from Seeking Alpha readers, and then some other people sending me some emails, or sorry, messages through Seeking Alpha about it. This is kind of a dead cat bounce, but let's see if we got something grinding up off the bottom here. Now, I mentioned this in my previous video on Clovis, which is, these guys, you have to realize that the information that they disclosed in their quarterly filing about potentially having to do bankruptcy, those things, they obviously have to put them in there. Now, is it something new? Yes, but, if they haven't closed up, doesn't mean they don't have a financing deal ready to go. Doesn't mean they're not in talks with people. It doesn't mean that they haven't been trying. I'm amazed that they, like I said several times already, I'm surprised they let it get this bad. I just can't believe there's somebody out there there's nobody out there willing to help finance this company for another year and give them the deals that they need. But I don't know if going through bankruptcy, being a shareholder, is going to work this time. Obviously, the company is incredibly undervalued for what they pull in, what they could be. If they broke up the company and just sold everything off and just held on to Rubraca for a long period of time, maybe. Or vice versa, they get rid of Rubraca and they focus on FAP stuff. There's a lot of options out there. But the reality is they need to get cash soon to prevent the whole bankruptcy. We don't know if we don't know if they've been making deals, talking to anyone. So I get the hard, strong sell-off, but just because it was in a quarterly filing doesn't mean it has to happen. They have to put it in there, because if it does happen, all those guys are in real big trouble. Hey, you guys are filing bankruptcy and you kind of knew that and you didn't put it in a quarterly filing. Yeah, that's not disclosing that as a possibility and then it happening. Yeah, I don't know. That would have been bad. So I'm not freaking out about that being them announcing it. I am stressed that we're getting this close, that these guys probably going to have to do something by year end. Either file or make a big move in terms of selling something, or just getting rid of, selling up the company. Now that's probably why we're seeing some people step in here with volume, bidding this up a little bit. There is that going on. Now the opposite can be said too. Yeah, so this is a chance. So there's this one, but now popped out, tested it, and now did a little belt buckle move there. Doji, whatever you want to call it. That's more of a belt buckle, I think, because it's inside and it's not the low, but you know what I'm saying. Indecision, low volume. So this coming week, we'll probably see something, maybe even on Monday. But we would have to wait really for Yeah, so that's the one we're going to be looking for. So you got to wait. We have to basically close above. What's the high for this sucker? 38. So above 38, you got to see that. You got to put it on your watch list there, and then getting above basically 50s probably. Yeah, because there's a room for a snapback move, right? So we're seeing some grind here. You show some momentum, so we're grinding up, get a little momentum, get above this anchored VWAP, get above the formation higher, and then we have a move to 59. You could take a chance here, probably above there, 38, 39. See if we can get a move maybe to 40, almost close to 50. That'd probably be, yeah. So I mean, that's if you're gonna put the pedal down and take a nice little quick scalp. I mean, that's a big move to have in probably a few days. Of course, there can be just another downtrend, right? And this thing pops down and just grinds down to, nothing. Especially if there's going to be an announcement. Man, this is just, what a waste. Get a double bomb at 22? Maybe. I'm not getting involved. I don't see a strong setup yet. All right, CANO. This is the one. I'm glad somebody else mentioned this because I kind of forgot it for today, but I loaded up again, I think yesterday on this sucker because in general the company is growing, and we got a little breakout finally yesterday from this downtrend, right? That doesn't mean we're going to see an instant move, but it landed right on the, so we broke out and then we landed on it. So we haven't seen any strength yet, so I'm not like doubling or tripling my size, but at 170, what's the CANO price to sales here? Okay, earnings. Who put this in? Yeah, so they're right now we got $2.78 billion in revenue. Still, so people are expecting solid growth. I'll say so. These guys are going to pull in 2.7, and market caps are under $1 billion. So you'd have to say there's no way this company's ever going to turn a profit ever again, right? Which they're not far off. They had a bad earnings, and I'll get into that in probably in an update probably next week, or maybe even tomorrow. I'll start writing up something on CANO, but yeah. So this is, I don't want to say this is a top idea, but I'm very hungry for some CANO Health. I'm also looking at Oak Street too. These guys were, see, they're looking to be a takeover target. I'm not jumping in on the fact that they are a takeover target, but what we're seeing here is that people want to get involved, and all of a sudden it turns out they're stepping away. But I don't know how many times great companies have been, that have been acquired were once targets. Then the company that ultimately ends up buying them steps away for a little bit, and then it ends up being them anyway. It could be like a few months to a year or even more down the road, but they're still the ones who usually step in to buy them. It's just timing of, people coming back and waiting for the market to weaken them up. But anyway, the problem is once you're known as a buyout target and you're not getting bought out, you have a huge opportunity to, one, step in when everybody's jumping ship because everybody thinks it's not going to happen. Because, they found something they didn't like or something like that. It's usually just timing. So I'm looking at these guys. I think they're, well, I don't want to think, they're definitely, their valuation's a lot richer than I am a premium member. What are you doing? This makes no sense. Anyway, unless I'm not a premium member anymore. Okay, so they're definitely a little bit more. Are they? Yeah, and their EPS is. See, like, let's look at this. Negative EPS. You know, anybody suspecting a positive EPS until 2026, it's only one person. But let's go back to CANO. You still got people thinking we might get a positive EPS this year. Better off next year. And 0.15? Yeah, CANO's definitely my pick. They're just getting crushed. Just a technical, easy short. Yeah, look at that short interest. That's pretty heavy. So that's my pick out of the three right now that I'm looking to be a little more aggressive on. AQST, I'll take it under $1 again. That's a pretty decent price. CLVS, I'm staying away from right now. Just lower conviction. It's totally possible these guys can't get a deal done, and there's plenty of vultures out there looking to get Rubraca really cheap, and they'll take FAP on the discount as well. So they'll wait for the pain. I don't think that I mean, I'm not sure if that's actually going to happen or not, but that possibility is. I've seen it with Synergy Pharmaceuticals with Trulance, was it? I'm pretty sure it was Trulance. But I had a really great IBS drug. Their commercial team just couldn't get it done. And Ironwood and AstraZeneca, I think it was, right? Yeah. They couldn't overdo them, outcompete them, so they had to go to bankruptcy, and everybody's like, oh yeah, someone's gonna buy them out. No one bought them out because they just knew that someone picked it up dirt cheap in freaking bankruptcy court. They bought it for nothing, and now, you know, making cash with it. So totally possible with Clovis. Seen it happen a few times, so maybe missing out a huge opportunity, but anything short of like a buyout, it'd have to be like a buyout, because even if they sell things off, you're still going to have doubters out there. You're still going to have the market just basically pulling the same thing. It'll spike up, and they'll just grind it back down again because the company's now weaker. I'm sure even if they make a deal to get rid of Rubraca or their FAP stuff, they're not going to get top dollar for it, right? Because they're going to be doing it from a position of weakness. So they'll probably get it. Even if they get it, there'll probably be a spike in the share price for a moment, and then the shorts will just pile back on again. And then that's when you're going to have to wait, and that's where the opportunity would be, which is, hey, they bring it down too much, and then there's a nice solid snapback, and then we got another trade set up for CLVS again. I'm not wrecking my win percentage on CLVS just for the opportunity of maybe somebody comes in and buys Clovis for $1.50 a share or something like that. I don't even know if that's going to happen, so we'll see. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Probably later on today, I'm going to go through some of the other portfolio tickers and see if we can find any good setups technically. I'll put on the watch list, and we'll go from there. All right. Anyway, good luck. Stay healthy.